Good afternoon, Facebook family. This is me, Jason Gregory, coming at you again from the UK with another midday mindset. And so it is the middle of the week. It's Wednesday already, guys. So we've had enough time in the week to have an impact on people, but there's still time in the week to continue to have an impact on people. So this is midweek. This is halfway through the week. So let's continue along the lines of how we've been going through this week in the momentum of helping people and whatever it is that you're doing. So guys, as you come on the stream, if you just let me know where you're dialing in from, as I always ask you to do. If you're dialing in from the UK, show me where you're dialing in from. If you're from the US, show what country you're in. It's always good to know who I'm interacting with. I'm just going to share this on my Midday Mindset fan page. So if you just bear with me 1 second, okay, and then I will get started. So bear me 1 sec. Midday Mindset. Here we go. Okay guys, what I'm going to be speaking about today is what is the alternative? Yeah, what is the alternative? Ask yourself the question, what is the alternative to what you're doing? Because if you're doing something, whether or not you are trying to build something for yourself in your own business, or whether or not you're in a job or getting educated, what's the alternative of not continuing to do that? What's the alternative of giving up? Yeah, a lot of times when things get a little bit challenging for us, we all get this negative kind of self-talk that speaks to us and says that it's never going to happen, it's not going to work, and what's the point continuing, just give up. That's always going to be there, but you have to be able to silence those voices, those inner voices that try to knock you off track. You have to be able to silence them, and it's going to come with time and with experience, because the more little successes you have in your journey, is the more motivated you're going to be to silence those voices, because if you have those little successes, you will know, well, if I've had this success already, if I continue to be consistent in what I'm doing, what's going to stop me from continuing to get more success in the future? So that's going to help you to silence those voices, because you have to understand that whatever the challenge is that you're going through at the moment, and people do go through some real challenging situations. I was speaking to a lady earlier on today, and she was telling me about her challenging situation that she's going through that just came out of the blue. Sometimes life really does come and try to challenge you and knock you off course, but you have to stick with it. You have to be really sold out to what it is that you're doing. Because if you're trying to build something, yeah, and if it gets too challenging, you stop. What's the alternative? What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to do the things that you were doing before you started that wasn't getting you the results? Or are you going to continue to move forward? Hey Donna Marie, good to see you. Susan, good to see you as well. Yes, Donna Marie, the sun is shining. I am loving this weather. This is me. This is my time of the year. So are you going to continue to move forward, or are you going to stop? Because it's all about, when I speak to people, when I'm coaching people, I tell people you always have to have your why at the forefront of your mind. And it has to be more than just the why. Because why is, okay, you've made a decision to do something. But when it is a desperate why, that desperate why is the thing that makes you completely sold out to the thing that you're doing. So much so that there's nothing that's going to knock you off track, no matter how challenging it is. And that's the biggest difference between having a why and having a desperate why. Yeah, desperate why is there's no plan B. There's only plan A. Like there's a story that I heard about a general who brought his army out into an island. They all came off the ships. He told them to unload the weaponry, unload all of the supplies on the beach. And when everything was on the beach, he gave his men the orders to burn down the ships. Yeah. And so when they burnt down the ships, now he turned around to the men and he said, the only way we are going to get off this island alive is if we move forward and we win the battles. Every single battle that we face, we're going to have to be victorious, because that's the only way we're going to get off this island, because I've just burnt the ships. And that's when you have a desperate why. You see, if they just had a why, they could have fought the first battle, and if it didn't go their way, they could have said, let's just jump back on the ships and get out of here. But because they burnt the ships, that why now turns into a desperate why. And that desperate why is, I can't afford not to continue. And that's what and that's the point I want to make for you today, is what is your alternative? Can you afford not to continue? Or are you just going to retreat back to an old way of thinking, an old mindset, and then accept an old way of life that you didn't like in the first place? Remember, the reason why you started something in the first place is because you wanted to be more successful than what you were getting. Because if you're not where you are in life at the moment, there's only two options. You can either continue to do what you've done, or you can do something different. It's as simple as that. And so, and nobody ever said, or shouldn't be saying, that life is going to be easy, that whatever project you're working on, whatever job you're going to go into, whatever course you're going to study is going to be easy. Because a lot of times when people are looking for easy, they're looking for free and they're looking for easy. And eventually that becomes the most expensive, most frustrating thing they will ever do. Yeah? There's no such thing as free and easy. There are simple processes that you can go through. And if you go through those processes properly, then you'll get to the end result. I'm going to give you an example. But I remember my first day at university, when I went to my first lecture, I thought, oh my God, how am I going to get through this course? Now, that is a challenge, because I'm looking at something that I've never done before, and all of a sudden it's now, how am I going to do it? But the simple process was continue to go to your lectures. That's simple, that's not complicated. You continue to go to your lectures, and when you continue to go to your lectures, then guess what? You start learning what you need to learn, because the mother of all learning is repetition. So that's a simple process. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. Why? Because I was learning new things that I didn't know before. But you know how many people that started on my degree course that didn't finish because they quit halfway through or after the first or second year? But then there's a lot of people that continue to press through and left that course with honours degrees. Yeah? And so you have to understand, what is the alternative? The alternative is to live an unfulfilled life. The alternative is to let fear govern you, like I mentioned to you the other day. Turn fear around. Yeah? Don't let that false evidence appearing real control you. Turn it completely around, so it now becomes reality action effectively through faith. Yeah, turn it around, guys, because once you turn that around, then you'll start experiencing things completely different. You won't quit, because you understand the alternative is way worse than the challenge. So you will never quit. Yeah, you'll basically if you have that attitude of quitting, then literally no matter what you do, no matter what project you work on, no matter what opportunity you go into next, no matter what job that you apply for and go into, you're going to take that same attitude into that job and into that different venture, and it's just not going to work. You're going to be one of those people that are always hopping around like a bunny rabbit, never finding a home anywhere, never finding their feet anywhere, but they're always looking for the next best thing. It's because it's the attitude that you have that is wrong. You need to start cementing that in your mind properly, so that your attitude will continue to push you forward in the thing that you want to achieve, which ultimately is your success. Yeah. The thing is, if you quit because of the challenges, then what effectively is happening? You are missing out on valuable character building experiences. Yeah. Valuable character building experiences that make you more valuable. Why? Because you went through it. You see, we too much times we focus on the negative instead of understanding, well, wait a minute, if something is happening to me and it's not where I want to be, or it's not really nice for where I want to be right now, what is it that I need to learn through this process? Because once you learn the things that you need to learn through the process, all of a sudden, just by learning that thing, you become more valuable. Yeah? And when you become more valuable, when the value that you have increases, guess what? You command more value in the marketplace, because the marketplace pays for value. If you increase your skill, you increase your value to the marketplace. And the only way that's going to happen is by you being stretched, by you going through experiences, by you learning some new stuff. Yeah, by you taking yourself out of that comfort zone and doing some things that you haven't done before. Those are character building exercises. Yeah, you see, the giving up is not for the strong, it's for the weak. Yeah, because it takes more strength to stick at it than it does to quit. But I want you to understand this: even though it takes more strength to stay. The race is not for the swift, yeah, and the battle is not for the strong, but it's for those who endure to the end. Think about it for a second. You could start off really, really quickly, and you could build up momentum really, really quickly, but if you quit, or if you slow down, if you lose focus, then you're not going to make it to your kingdom of success. You can start off really, really strong, yeah, and everybody looking at you saying, wow, yeah, you got some power behind you in what you do, and you start off really, really strong, yeah, but after a few challenging moments or a few challenging seasons, you give up, you throw in the towel. That means you're never ever going to make it to your kingdom of success. And that's why I said the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong, but it's for those who endure to the end, yeah. So what is the alternative? What is the alternative, yeah? Keep your eyes focused on the end game, yeah, just like what Stephen Covey says in the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Successful people always have the end game in mind. So keep your eyes on the end game, and the end game is your kingdom of success. You want to get to that environment, because the reality is we live in an environment or an atmosphere or a climate that is not really conducive for success, because turn on the news, it's all negative. Yeah, when people would rather spread negative information than positive information. That's just the society that we're living in. So it's not conducive for success. So we have to effectively create an environment within an environment, create an environment within a climate, so that the environment that we live in is conducive for success, even though the external climate is not. Yeah, and so when we do that and we draw people into our environment, guess what? We're actually bringing people into a different way of living, a different way of thinking. Yeah, and then when you draw them into your kingdom of success, they become citizens of your kingdom of success, because you were able to impact them, inspire them, develop them, and help them. So what is it that you're doing today? Where is your kingdom of success? Are you in your kingdom of success, or are you in the environment of this negative world? Yeah? Or do you have one foot in your kingdom of success and one foot in the negative environment of the world? Believe me, you can't be citizens of two kingdoms at the same time. And so we need to understand that we know where we're going, we know what we want to achieve, so we need to go out and do it. It's as simple as that. Yeah? And so understand your reason for doing it is the reason that's going to keep you going. Yeah? Understand the alternative is a lot less, a lot more, sorry, the alternative of giving up is a lot less negative than the challenge of the situation that we're going through right now. So I have to get my words out there, yeah? So understand that, yeah? Don't look at the alternative as a way out. The alternative is a way to pull you right back to the beginning. Stick at what you're doing, guys, yeah? Understand that you have got the ability to do it, no matter what the challenge is, no matter who the person is who's trying to pull you away from wherever you're going. Understand you have the power to do it if your why is strong enough. Have that desperate why in front of you. Burn the ships so that you cannot get back on the ship and retreat. But the only thing you can do is move forward. Once you've done that, guys, your whole attitude will change towards what it is that you're trying to achieve. You see, when you always have a plan B, there's always the way out. But when you don't have a plan B, your way out is forward. And so always move forward, never retreat. Yeah. Make sure that when you put your armor on, yeah, because remember, when we're walking to our kingdom of success, we're going to have to go through some battles. So when you have your armor on, you make sure that your armor covers the front. Yeah. You don't need no armor for your back, because you're not going to retreat. And in fact, if you're bringing people into your kingdom of success with you, they should be watching your back. And then when they're duplicating what you're doing, they should have people watching their back as well. That's how we leverage each other and move together with strength. You see, where there's unity, there cannot be brokenness. But where there's separation and all kinds of discord and all kinds of inward fighting, which unfortunately happens a lot, that's where things break down. So guys, let's move forward and let's understand the alternative is not as strong as the challenge. So let's move forward and make it happen. So hopefully this made sense. And if it did, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be here again tomorrow with another topic, another midday mindset. If you are willing to burn those burn those ships. And don't do this unless you're willing to do it, because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to do it and you say yes I am, the only person you're kidding is yourself. But are you willing to burn all those ships that will cause you to stop hitting your goal and hitting what it is that you want to achieve in life? When you can think about how, if just visualize what would happen if you was in your kingdom of success in regards to your lifestyle with your family, in regards to your relationships with other people, in regards to all the things that you could do in life. If you start visualizing that, yeah, and if you are willing to start burning all those ships that will try to stop you from getting to that place, then put in the comments, yes I am, yeah, and then go out and then whatever you're building, make sure you do it with passion. So guys, I'll see you again this time again tomorrow with another midday mindset. So take care.